welcome back to Science at Home with Mrs. V. I'm inviting you into my backyard for a science experiment, Coke and Mentos. All right, Diet Coke and Mentos have been talked about for many years because of its explosive reaction. YouTube videos, Mythbusters, and David Letterman have all had watchers excited to witness the reaction of the immediate foaming of the Coke in a fountain-like explosion. The height and the length of the fountain seem to vary from test to test depending on the variables and the factors and other factors. The explanation of the reaction has always been one of many controversy. Carbon dioxide found in the pop and the pits that are found in the Mentos candy, which acts as sites for the carbon dioxide bubbles to form, and the weight of the candy and the nature of the Diet Coke all seem to play a role in the reaction. Not having the opportunity to witness it for myself or to do it firsthand, I have decided to do this here, right now, with my own little twist. All right, are you ready? I need you to get a piece of paper and a pencil so that you can write these things down, because you're gonna have to fill out some Google Slides using the scientific method. All right, so if you need to pause this video, go ahead and pause the video and come right back. So the first step to the scientific method is to ask a question. So my question is, this is my little twist, will regular Coke have the same explosive result with Mentos as Diet Coke? So in order for me to do that, I have two 2-liters that I have ready to go. Now, I also have done some research, and you'll remember that research, observation, and experiment are the three things that we do in order to create an experiment. So, my research, I know firsthand from watching videos, but not firsthand from seeing things, but from watching videos, I know that Diet Coke and Mentos have an explosive reaction. I've seen videos on YouTube and the episode of Mythbusters to prove that the reaction does happen. So I'm going to take that little twist and see, well, is it the same with the regular Coke and the Diet Coke? All right? So my hypothesis is, if the same number, and remember, hypothesis, if-then format, if the same number of Mentos are placed in Diet Coke and regular Coke, then you will get an equal reaction. So I'm saying that the height of the fountain-like explosion will be about the same, okay? All right, so in order to conduct my experiment, the materials that I need, well, I'm gonna need the 2-liter of Diet Coke and a 2-liter of regular Coke. I made sure that both of them have exactly the same thing in them, except the Diet Coke has a sweetener called aspartame, and the regular Coke has sugar. So that's the only difference between the two. The Mentos, meter sticks, and I said a toilet paper roll, but I couldn't find one of those, so I'm using a paper towel roll instead. All right, so my first step is to carefully open the 2-liter. And when I crack that 2-liter open, I hear a fizzing sound, and that's the carbon dioxide. And you'll know that I referred to that earlier. Those bubbles form around the Mentos, and that's what causes the reaction. All right, so step number 2. Drop 4 Mentos in the 2-liter. Step number 3, stand back and observe how high the Coke fountain explodes. Step number 4, redo this, but with the other type of Coke. So I'm gonna start with the Diet Coke. And then in order to analyze my data, I have to have some place where I can put my data. So I'm gonna put my data on a graph after I perform the experiment. All right, so are you ready to get started? All right, so let's step over here. And I have a little friend, a little helper. His name's Stanley. All right, so let me grab my paper towel roll and get things set up. Now, I'm gonna need to put on my safety goggles. All right, so you're gonna hear that carbon dioxide fizz. Okay, and I've got my Mentos ready. I'm gonna put this in here so that the Mentos fall directly into the 2-liter, because you guys don't know this, but I tried this one at a time and I dropped one on the ground. So I'm gonna try and make this a little more streamlined this time. So I'm gonna hold this here and then drop the Mentos in and then step back and measure on the meter stick to see how far it goes up. Okay, so I'm wanting a good explosion here. All righty, set, let's go. Okay, so it was 86 centimeters. Woohoo! All right, so now I'm gonna come over here and with the Diet Coke, and you're gonna have this on a Google slide. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna put X's. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 86, so there's halfway. So I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, and I have it so that you could actually draw a line on there too, okay? All right, so 86 centimeters. So I have on my graph, I have, this is the height in centimeters. I have this written up by tens. All right, so there's for my Diet Coke. Now, let's go ahead and place the Diet Coke aside. And let's try this again with the regular Coke. All right, my paper towel ready here. And I hear the crack of that carbon dioxide. And safety goggles, safety first. All right, are you ready? Here we go, let's put this on here, pinch it, and I'm gonna drop these in, all 4 of them, and then, okay, 39. All right, so the Coke, we only have 10, 20, 30 to right about here, 39. All right, oh, 39 is right here, sorry, 39. So there's a big difference between the Diet Coke and the regular Coke. Now I'm thinking it has to do with the sweetener. I'm not really sure, but I think it has something to do with the sweetener. So when I'm looking at this and I'm analyzing my data, which you're gonna have to fill out a slide on measuring, drawing conclusions and analyzing the data. So I'm looking at this and it seems like that my hypothesis was wrong. The regular Coke did not have the same reaction as the Diet Coke. It might have something to do with the contents of the 2 different sodas. So now we've got to think about the variables. What are the variables in this experiment? We've been talking about independent and dependent and controlled variables. So remember, the independent variable is what the scientist changes. What did I change? I did Diet Coke and a regular Coke. So that would be the independent variable. So the dependent variable is what I'm measuring. Well, I measured how high the explosion was, the reaction that happened here. And then the control would be the number of Mentos, because I put 4 Mentos in both the Diet Coke and in the regular Coke. All right, so you're gonna have to know that. So if you have to rewatch the video, that's okay. All right, so I want you to keep watching, keep thinking, always stay curious, and I'll see you next time.